Coffee Shop CoffeeCast. This is where you get an in-depth look at what's happening, whether it's technology, new products, across the board. We want to talk about what's happening in the roofing industry that can make a difference for your business. So today, I am so honored to be here with John Gardner and Dave Banas to talk about their tech stack with Owens Corning. My name is Heidi Ellsworth, and we have our specialists from JobNimbus, Kevin Wall, here to talk about their part of the integration. So, gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you, Heidi.
Great to be here, as always.
As always. So, well, John, let's start with you. Let's do some introductions. If you could introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what you're doing with OC.
For sure. First of all, Heidi, it is fantastic to be here. And as always, and I mean this with all intent, is thank you for the years and years that you put into the roofing industry and Roofers Coffee Shop and what you do for,
thank you.
for everybody that touches the roofing industry. So really great stuff. I'm John Gardner, and I've been with Owens Corning almost 13 years now. And today I head up our strategic partnerships and our learning and development platform. And both of those have quite a bit to do with helping our contractors scale and solve problems. And it's all wrapped in to the Owens Corning Roofing Contractor Network program that, folks, if you haven't had an opportunity to dive into that a little bit, then please do reach out to your ASM or do some research on your own. We'd be glad and happy to connect with you. So anyway, Heidi, that's a little bit of a plug, but I just figured, hey, what an opportunity as I introduce myself.
What you're doing is revolutionary. This tech stack for the contractors is making such a huge difference. So Dave, let's go ahead and have you introduce yourself, please.
Sure. Dave Banas, Digital Contractor Manager here at Owens Corning. I work closely with John to help contractors implement technology to help them get more work and get work done.
Excellent. Excellent. And Kevin, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company.
Yeah, so my name's Kevin Wall. I head up partnerships at JobNimbus. We are really honored to be part of the tech stack, kind of the hub that encapsulates all other integrations. I'm really excited to be on this podcast with y'all, Heidi. And that's what we are. That's what we do.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for being here today. And I just want to remind everybody that this is a series. So we started with it from the very beginning of what that Owens Corning Tech Stack is to throughout all of our the Tech Stack partners. And we've been having great conversations with each partner on their integration. So John, I would love it if you would kind of take over and talk a little bit about the importance of the JobNimbus technology in the tech stack and how it's integrating, and you and Kevin kind of give us a view of that.
Yeah. A great question. And in a very real way, first of all, the tech stack itself is a combination of integrated technologies that Owens Corning is deeply invested in and partnered with. These are best-in-class companies that make up our business solutions portfolio that in this particular case, a selection of those technologies are purposely integrated to provide, as I just said, the best tech stack that contractors can invest their time, their money, and their energy into. And so, when you look at all of the different elements of the technology, one, if you had to say, is the most critical, or leans on the most critical, it is JobNimbus. And because JobNimbus, obviously the CRM, is absolutely critical and vital. It is we say it here, it's the spinal cord of technology in contractors' business. And without JobNimbus, and specifically with JobNimbus, because they were selected based on the technology and all of the elements that we'll get into here in a little bit, the CRM and JobNimbus are by far one of the most important elements of our tech stack. And so, you asked the question, how does it fit in? It has to be there. JobNimbus must be part of the tech stack. And so we've had a lot of fun bringing this to the market, working with JobNimbus and all of our other business solution partners and technology partners. It's been now, we're probably, in 2023, early 23, we launched this, and the success all across the United States, from contractors that are just beginning their journey into roofing, and all the way to those that are enterprise level, multi-state level. We've had fantastic conversations and testimonials from contractors that say, boy, this tech stack has really helped us to, get ourselves to that place, whether we, in that place, Heidi and Dave and Kevin, you know this, it's, technology is served to make sure that businesses can actually, they're performing at the best level. And the way that we look at the technologies is, how do you perform? The technology allows our contractors' businesses to scale, and the technology also allows our contractors to identify very specific problems that they otherwise wouldn't know about, because the data on the back end of the technology provides unbelievable insight to the business. And so as much as it is about scaling, it's about being very effective and efficient at understanding your deficiencies and making those immediate changes. And JobNimbus and CRM is a fantastic example of just that, very, dynamic movement that the businesses can make with the introduction of technology, specifically with the CRM.
Yeah, I tell you what, knowing your data, knowing your business, that is the key. Kevin, I would love to hear your thoughts on, you've been a great partner with Owens Corning for so long, and this last year really have seen some success. Can you talk about JobNimbus and the importance of that CRM and the integrations within the Owens Corning Tech Stack?
Yeah, thank you for the question. JobNimbus, yes, we're CRM. We help businesses, contractors manage their customers. We're a project management tool. We help contractors manage their jobs from lead gen to payments. But what's really unique and special about JobNimbus is we have an open API, which means that we allow a lot of other partners to integrate into our environment, our sandbox, come play with us. And so we've got over 500 companies who have plugged in, and you can engage in that software within JobNimbus. We have a peak performance report that we send out every year, and the best in class roofers are moving between 2 and 3 and 4 pieces of software regularly every day, right? If you get many more, the more pieces of software that you can use efficiently, you're going to be more successful. But it can be annoying to hop from JobNimbus to Hover, or to hop from JobNimbus to CompanyCam, from JobNimbus to QuickBooks. And so to be able to order digital measurement tools through Hover, or to manage your accounting, manage your payments, to take care of your pictures with CompanyCam, and to do all of that within the JobNimbus environment, without having to leave the screen, without having to change your tab on your phone, makes work and life easier and more efficient. And so JobNimbus is part of the tech stack. The cool thing about JobNimbus is we bring all the other pieces together.
Yeah, it's that's really, you need that hub to be able to be in a program and to be able to get what you need right then. Dave, as you've worked with we've talked to a number of the tech stack companies, how do you see the interaction between the tech stack partners and JobNimbus?
Yeah, I think Kevin hit it on the head. The ability for the integration. When just JobNimbus out of the box has a lot of great capability that a contractor, stands up, they can accomplish a lot of things. It's one thing I recommend as a core for contractors to set up the CRM. But as contractors grow and they get into other things, there are other tools that could be coming out in the market, and that ability to integrate into the CRM they're using to be able to exchange that data and for their business processes and flow without having mistakes or double entry and anything like that, is what I view as critical. And that's what's really special about JobNimbus, is the openness to be able to connect those other tools together, whether it's through the API or other third-party tools.
And John, you're shaking your head. So kind of take that one step further, because I really think about all these tech stack partners, and you're really making it functional for the roofing contractors.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. And Dave just shared great stuff. And Kevin, you hit the nail on the head, just as Dave said. And the, the key element here is the ability for all of these technologies to integrate really well with one another. And Dave, within our organization, Dave and I are kind of, well, Dave, are we Batman and Robin? I mean, you've said that before, but, in all seriousness, you have to look at technology from, multiple lenses. Technology for technology's sake is fantastic to introduce into a business, but what are you trying to solve for? And so collectively, Owens Corning, when we look at the technology, the potential addition or building out the tech stack, we look at it from multiple lenses, and we really do unpack the technologies, both singularly as well as, in this particular case, the tech stack. We took all of this inside the business and broke it down and actually worked with it and looked at how it performed, and that's how we arrive at knowing that, hey, look, all things being equal, Owens Corning feels, and we're very confident that this particular tech stack is really best in class. And so when you look at something as like JobNimbus, we've been talking about the efficiencies and the ability for integration, and those are all, those are real things. But at the end of the day, when I look at it from a business lens, and not necessarily technology lens, for the business lens, it adds a tremendous amount of firepower to help that company scale. And it does that because of the efficiencies. And the efficiencies mean I can take as many or as much as one person away from doing what they're doing today and putting them into something more productive, because those efficiencies in JobNimbus allow for as much as like 8 hours of time that you were consumed doing things before are now free up. And so from a business standpoint, you're always looking at things with regard to what are you trying to solve? JobNimbus solves for many of those pieces. The point that I'm trying to make here is that when you boil it all down, that's 8 hours of time that is saved by one individual. And so we look at that from that way. And we also look at the technology perspective. And that's where Dave and I really work well together in terms of looking at this from both of those lenses. Technology, performing at optimal levels, both singularly as well as connected and integrated. And from a business standpoint, being very clear and specific and focused on what are we trying to solve for that our contractors are saying are most important to solve for, and how can we put those pieces together. And so the combination of that is the end result of the tech stack, obviously including JobNimbus, which is such a vital part of it. So,
right.
Yeah. I was gonna add, and the reward and the proofs is the feedback that we've been getting from contractors. Whether they've implemented part of the tech stack or majority of the tech stack, just the differences and the changes that using that technology together in their business has made.
That's right. And that's Kevin. I'd love you to kind of talk about that too, the difference you see with contractors, like what Dave and John just said. But I also, when you look at the tech stack companies, Art Unlimited, Podium, Hover, Company Cam, Engage, Leap, JobNimbus, when you think about, those are powerful companies in the industry. Everyone knows those names. They are powerful. They provide such solid solutions that help contractors grow their business. And the fact that they can all integrate into your system, whether that's through lead generation or communications or photos or measurements. Talk to us a little bit about how that whole really system comes together.
I appreciate it. And I want before I answer that, I want to build on what John and Dave said. I was at a sales summit this last weekend with a partner, and they had a keynote speaker, and I know his name's Mike. I can't think of his last name, so I'm not going to quote him directly, but he talked about businesses can grow and businesses can scale, right? You can grow a business by adding headcount and by doing more work, and you scale a business by you grow growth by taking things away. And so, as John talks about scaling your business giving 8 hours, giving one headcount the ability to go and do something else. JobNimbus that's what JobNimbus does. The automations within JobNimbus, the integrations with JobNimbus, the ability to not have to duplicate or triplicate or quadruplicate efforts, typing and all that information. You get the ability to scale your business, which is growing your business by taking away those mundane tasks that can get really, really tedious. And so I became a real big fan of the difference between growing your business and scaling your business. And so I love that. And JobNimbus does a great job at that. As for how all these partners work within JobNimbus, I mean, it's really great. Like take Hover, for instance. You start with a lead gen, and you have the ability to go and estimate a job. At the click of a button, you can get a digital, you can get the digital measurements from Hover or from other partners, and those get plugged right into JobNimbus. And then at the click of a button, you can take those numbers and you can create an estimate. And then at the click of a button, you can take that estimate and turn it into a material order for the company the supplier that you buy your material from. And it's got to be Owens Corning, and then at another click of a button. I mean, and so rather than having to type out a job order, a material order, having to create an estimate, having to take the measurements that you have done and put all that into place, you've now reduced it to just a click of a button, and the human error factor is eliminated from it. All the time is eliminated from it, and the customers get a world-class experience, which is what they expect to see. Somebody showing up on a job site with a drone, or somebody coming to a job site with a proposal in hand based off of a quick measurement tool, and are ready to have a conversation with you rather than having to wait 3 or 4 days for that, is unmatched. Like John says, it's best in class. And what's funny is, again, the idea of scaling, it's best in class by having done less work.
Yes. Yeah.
And just to add to that real quick, one important thing that Kevin mentioned was that a lot of the efficiencies that we talk about is on the contractor end, but there is an impact on the homeowner end too, right? Being able to be professional, be organized, be able to demonstrate that, build the trust with that homeowner, that it impacts both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are the kind of things. And when you think about also the connection with Owens Corning, distribution, technology, contractors, and then the homeowners, it makes an overall best of class, like you just said, best of class
Awesome.
experience.
Yeah, and the 5-star reviews come in, right? I mean, they flow in, and so the cycle repeats. It really is awesome.
That is excellent. So, one thing I would like to kind of just hit on is why. And I know we've been saying it, but I want to say it very succinctly. And John, I'd like to start with you, but why are these tech stack capabilities so important to roofing companies?
Yeah. The business is running at the speed of light, the speed of sound. And it's not different for the roofing business. The consumer, they have their demands, they have their requests and their requirements, and those requirements don't change when they're interested in roofing. And so we have to, meaning the roofing industry, really has to embrace that, in which we have. We've seen the technology enter into the roofing industry over the last 5 years at a massive scale. And so that in itself creates a little bit of a challenge for contractors, because with so many options out there, with those commercials popping up, with those ads popping up, with, this one's better, no, this one's better, that creates a sense of confusion to begin with. And so, one of those big messages that I'd love folks to take away is that we have done a massive amount of research on the backside before we even went day one into the market with our tech stack. And so, part of the element of the tech stack that contractors should walk away with is it's been tested and it's trusted by Owens Corning. So be confident that the decisions that you're making at least get you in a better place. But to get deeper into your question, is, with regard to, the speed of sound, the speed of light, it requires you to have information in front of you right there and then. And so as much as we've talked about, all of the outward facing elements of the technology stacks that are helping contractors scale and solve problems, the insights, the data, that is actually the result of I've sold a job. Now let's unpack all of that. How did I perform at the sales level? How did I perform at the production level? How did I perform at the ordering level? How did I perform at every level? And the tech stack allows contractors and businesses alike to really look at that from a dashboard perspective, and allow you to make very fluid decisions on an ongoing basis to continue to get the most out of the organization and the most out of people that make up your company. And so when we look at that perspective, the way that it just came to mind with as we were talking is, it's amazing that airplanes, that pilots are up in the sky and there's a massive storm and people can't see anything. But somehow, some way, that plane is able to land, within 5 feet of where it's supposed to land and bring everybody home safely. And that is basically a pilot looking at all of those key indicators to help support the decisions that he's making when landing the plane. That is a tech stack variation with regard to our roofing business. And so we have the same capabilities to be able to look at our business holistically and feel confident that I can be in my office as an owner, as a leader in the business, as a salesperson, as anybody, and making sure that my business is running as efficiently as possible. And those efficiencies translate into fantastic customer experience, 5-star reviews, more margin on my jobs, business scaling, and outpacing my competition at a very aggressive rate. And we've seen these numbers all across the United States, unbelievably impressive numbers of the scalability when introducing technology. And although that sounds too good to be true, we're only 5 years into a massive push of technology into the roofing business. Those numbers are real, and they should not be passed over. And so going back to our tech stack here is, feel confident that Owens Corning is presenting best-in-class companies that you could start your journey with, and actually have an opportunity, if you do have any kind of technology in your business, then utilize the resources that we have to measure what you're doing today. Even if it's just to understand that, hey, I picked a different technology, how am I performing? We are happy to help our contractors out in any way to make sure that they're scaling where they need to be. So
I love it. I love it. No, that is exactly how important it is. So, Kevin, just to kind of sum us up, the importance of contractors embracing technology and these type of tech stacks.
Yeah, I you talked about the why. Growing up, and real brief, my father was a contractor. Started hammer in his tool belt, and he swung that hammer until he just couldn't do it anymore. He tried to pass his business down to me, but I saw what being a business owner and all that did to him, and the time that he didn't spend with his family, and the time that he was always grumpy. And there are a lot of contractors who live in that kind of world, right, where they're sun up to sundown, 7 days a week. Business owners never take vacation, never take time off. JobNimbus' why is we want to make contractors heroes. We're looking to help them make more money and save time every week, and then they can use that time to spend with their family, to go on vacations, to scale their business, to give back to their community. And by doing that, to whatever demographic or people are important to that business owner, they become heroes. That's why I get up in the morning. That's why technology is so important for roofing in the industry, and that's what JobNimbus can do for our customer base.
Excellent. Well, thank you all. This is great. Part of our ongoing series for the tech stack on our this CoffeeCast, sponsored by Owens Corning. So stay tuned. We have more information, and then Dave and John and I are going to wrap it all up with a great big bow on how you can make this happen for your company. So John, Kevin, Dave, Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks,
Heidi,
Heidi.
thank you so much. Thanks for all
Thanks,
you do.
Thank
Very
you.
great to see you.
Have
Thank
a
you very
wonderful
much.
day. Stay tuned for the next video as part of this CoffeeCast from Roofer's Coffee Shop.